Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a quick beer review. Another local beer review for me tonight. Going back to North Park Beer Company, my favorite San Diego brewery. This is Save versus Fire. This label's kind of reflective, so I don't know if you can see that in the bright lights, but it's got dice and whatever else is on there. I was never into, what are those games called? Like Dungeons and Dragons and whatever this dice game is, Save versus Fire. I don't know, I was never into games like that, but I appreciate the can art, it's awesome. This is a per the label Nelson Rye Pilsner, another hoppy Pilsner. We've been just absolutely crushing lagers. It's all I've been drinking the last couple months. Haven't really been drinking IPAs. I'm about that lager life right now. It's just been so hot. I talked about it, but 4.7%, and it was canned on October 4th. Today's the 6th. This is hashtag Team Old Pilsner. North Park makes Party Cup, which is one of my favorite lagers ever. That's all mosaic. This one's Nelson. I don't know if it's the same like recipe as that, or if, I don't know if this is like part of the Party Cup line. I don't think it is, but North Park does absolutely amazing hoppy lagers. So I have had this beer before. It's been a while, but obviously I've never reviewed it on the channel. So that's what we're gonna do. I can smell that already. Gosh, it smells good. Nelson's one of those things. It's kind of love it or hate it. I am absolutely Team Nelson. One of my favorite hops, probably my favorite hop. It used to be Citra, first hop I ever fell in love with, but Nelson has just grabbed me by the heartstrings the last couple years. I absolutely love Nelson, but I realize a lot of people hate it. But this beer is, I think there's a chill haze. It's hazy, plenty carbonated, tons of bubbles. I don't know, there's half a finger of bright white head. There was a bigger head when we poured that, but it's dissipating fairly quickly. I've talked about it with North Park beers. They're heavily hot beers. The head retention is awful, but the beers taste fine, so not really sure what's going on with that. Let's shove our fat nose in it. This beer smells ridiculous. Wow. It smells so fruity for Nelson. Nelson, for me, usually is like dirty and earthy and vinous, white grapey. This almost smells like tropical fruit. This, like, it reminds me of Alpine Nelson, old school Alpine Nelson. I actually went back and watched that old review. I did a couple of Nelson reviews, but the first one, and I talked about how fruity it was. This smells fruity. Like, I don't even know what fruit it is. I was gonna say kumquats, but I don't know what the fuck kumquats are. But it sounded right. It's tropical. It is grapey and vinous. It's sweet. It's bready. Like, this beer smells. It smells like an IPA. Oh man. Cheers. That is delicious. That might be better than Party Cup, only because I'm Team Nelson. It's got a little bit of bitterness, like right on the middle of your tongue. But yeah, it's fruity. It's dry too. So, I mean, that part of the Nelson is definitely there. But I don't know what that fruit is. It's just tropical. Think generic tropical fruit with like grape juice, grape skin, vinous. But it's got like that lager, bready, biscuity thing. It stays true to that. I mean, obviously this is not what you would consider a lager because it's so freaking hoppy, but it is just a crusher of a beer, especially at 4.7%. Like, you could just, it's one of those things where like there's a little bit of bitterness, but it's not going to kill your palate, and it's just like crazy drinkable. It's fun drinking beers like this after drinking lots of macro lagers and Mexican lagers, because it just reminds you like how fun hops are and like how much flavor they can put into a beer when like they heavily hop these beers. So yeah, I mean, is this a Pilsner? It drinks more like an IPA in my opinion. It's that like fruity and hop forward, but it's bone dry, it's low ABV, it's awesome. So I wish I would have bought more. Like, I always say that when I buy a beer and I love it, I'm like, oh, I wish I bought more. But what was this? This was $17 a 4-pack. Is that good? Like, what do you guys think about $17 4-packs of Pilsner? I guess you're paying for the hops you're using. Freestyle hops ain't cheap, player. Nothing's cheap right now. But this, for me, I mean, it's hard to say it's a world-class, Pilsner, because this isn't like traditional, but for the style, what it is, I mean, this is as good as it gets as far as like hoppy lagers go. North Park, I think, I mean, I love Timbo from Highland Park. What other hoppy lagers do we like? I'm into low ABV hoppy lagers, but I think North Park does them the best, but we can argue about that later. So that's it. That's Save versus Fire. You guys fans? I hope so. This sold out online, so if you're local and you see this video, go to the brewery and pick some up. It is worth your time. So that is it. I'm out of here. Appreciate you guys watching. See you soon. Cheers.
Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.